What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing great. Today's video is going to be your quick start guide to using the GE 300 multi-effect pedal board from Mooer. I'm aiming this video at someone who bought this pedal board, opened it up, took one look at it and said, you know what? I better look up a YouTube video. If that sounds anything like you, well, you're in the right place. We're not going to cover every single detail, but we'll hit the basics. Some things like making sure everything's plugged in correctly so you can hear sound, how to navigate your way around the pedal board, and then we'll even look at doing some basic like editing to a preset and then how to save those presets. So if that sounds good to you, let's do it.
Customer service, do you have a problem?
Yeah, I have a problem. Your pedal board doesn't even make any sound. It doesn't do anything.
Well, have you tried plugging it in, sir?
Is it plugged in? Is it plugged in? What kind of person do you think I am? Of course it's plugged in. I need to go. Okay, let's make sure everything is plugged in correctly. So first thing you can plug in is your guitar cable. If you look at the back, you'll see an input labeled in. That's where your guitar cable goes. There's also a little switch in the back. Make sure that's flipped to the guitar side. If you're gonna be plugging your pedal board into an amp, plug a guitar cable into L mono, and then plug that guitar cable into your amp. If you're using 2 amps, you want to run stereo, you can also use the right side output. There's also XLR outputs. You can use these if you're plugging into like powered speakers or a mixer board, PA, audio interface, anything like that. I'm recording to my computer, and so I'm just plugged in direct with a USB cable. When you plug the GE 300 into your computer with a USB cable, it'll operate similar to an audio interface. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but basically what you'll do is open up your digital audio workstation, go into your settings or preferences, and under the audio input, just select GE 300, and then you'll just need to arm or enable your audio track to receive audio. So like record or like monitor so you can actually hear it back. If this is the first time you're turning this pedal board on, I just recommend turning the outputs down just because you don't know what to expect when you turn it on. If you're using XLR, this is going to be your volume. If you're doing headphones, it's this knob here. And then if you're running to an amp, it'll be the output master. If you're running into a computer like me, these won't affect anything. To plug in the power cable, take the barrel end of it, plug it into where it says DC in on the far end of the pedal board. Okay, at this point, once everything's plugged in, there's a power switch on the back. Just give that a flip. The pedal board will do a little light show for you. Once it fires up, you should be able to start hearing sound. So just creep up your output levels to a good spot. I'd probably say something between like 12 o'clock noon straight up to all the way cranked is probably going to be where you want to be. Just make sure you're not peaking or sending too much gain to your equipment. I'm sure that one of the first things you're going to want to do is to start listening to all the different presets that are on the pedal board. So there's a few different ways that you can scroll through presets. The first way is to use this select knob at the top. By turning it right and left, you can start scrolling through all the different presets. You can hear what they sound like. Another way that we can change presets is by using the bank foot switches. These foot switches on the far left scroll through the various banks. You can bank up, or you can bank down. Once you see a preset that you want to select, then you're going to use one of the 4 A, B, C, D foot switches. So if you want to do this crab nebula, you can see that it is preset B in bank 7. So you'll use foot switch B to select it. The GE 300 has 3 different pedal board modes, and each mode affects how the foot switches work. So mode 1, this top row of foot switches, these are going to be assignable to effects. So when you click them, effects will turn on or off. Then the bottom row, these are going to select the different presets in the bank that you're in. I'm in bank 7 and I have preset B. So if I hit A, now I selected preset A, here's preset C, and preset D. So the top foot switches, we can see right now that this first one is set to control the distortion and overdrive pedal. So if I click it, you can see it light up in green. So now that pedal is on. Click it again, now it's off. Control 2 controls effects B. Control 3 controls delay. And then control 4, this one, you can see it's blinking. This one is operating as a tap tempo, meaning that if you click it, you can tap in the pulse, the beat of the song that you're playing. And any time-based effects, such as delay, will then synchronize their pulse to the beat that you tap in. There's 2 display modes on this pedal board. This first one that comes up when you turn the pedal board on, this one works really well when you're playing live because you can see the effects that are programmed to your foot switches, and then you can also see any available presets. But if you really want to dig into the preset and see the whole signal chain, if you hit the display button, it's going to change to your signal chain view. So right now you can see the entire signal chain, and you can see all the effects that are in the signal chain. As you can see, there's a lot more effects on here than were assigned to foot switches. If you turn the select knob, you can see that yellow cursor scrolling through the signal chain. This is how you navigate the signal chain. And if you stop over a certain effect, in this gray bar at the bottom of the screen, it's going to show you the parameters that you can adjust for that effect. So right now I'm hovering over this distortion overdrive pedal, and I can see parameters like gain, bass, mid, treble, output. Now let's say I want to increase the gain. The way we do that is by using these knobs here, 1 through 5. So all I have to do is gain, it's the first one, farthest on the left, and so that's going to correlate to knob number 1. So I can just turn that up or down, wherever I want it. Let's say I want to boost the mid, just go to the 3rd knob, because it's the 3rd parameter in the line there. I can move that where I want it, output, whatever. So that's how you're going to adjust parameters. Now let's say that there's an effect like an amp model. Yeah, so if we hover over the amp model, there's more than just 5 parameters to adjust. But you can see these yellow arrows. If you see those, you can use these buttons here. These are going to scroll to the right and to the left. If you want to move effects around, you can do that by hover the cursor over the effect you want to move, press down on the select button, cursor changes to red. And now if we move the select button or the select knob, we're actually moving that effect to different places in the signal chain. So you can just find where you want it and then press select again, and then it drops that effect in that spot. If you want to enable or disable effects, all you got to do, just look for the corresponding button. So if I want to enable the distortion overdrive pedal, I just find the distortion overdrive button, press it once, it lights up. It also shows us the parameters on the screen. Again, these just correlate to the knobs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just hit the display button to get back. That's a useful feature because let's say that you don't want the distortion pedal to be on when you select a specific preset. You can make sure it's disabled, then save the preset, and then anytime you select that preset, that pedal will be off, or vice versa. If you want to assign a foot switch to control an effect, hit the control button. Changes our display. Right now, what we're seeing, each of these blocks represents each of the foot switches, and it's going to tell us if it's already assigned to something, what it's controlling, like distortion, overdrive, FXB, delay. These ones are blanked out because right now we're in foot switch mode 1, and these foot switches are not controlling effects. They are changing between presets. And let's say that I want, like right now, distortion overdrive is 1. Let's say I wanted that to be control 2. I'll just hit control 2. So now I'm seeing the parameters that I can change for control 2. Probably the only things that we really want to focus on would be knob 2, which changes the color of the foot switch when it's activated. And then we would want to control block 1, which is knob 4. And so by scrolling through this, we can see all the effects that we can assign to it. And so we can say distortion overdrive is what we're going to control. Once we do that, you can hit display to come out of it. Obviously, then the next step would be to probably change control 1 to a different effect so that I don't have 2 of the same. But that's the basic idea for assigning effects to foot switches. If you've made any changes to a preset and you like how things are sounding, make sure that you save the preset before you change to a different preset. Otherwise, all your changes will be lost. So to do that, hit the save button once and then hit it again. and now it is saved. If for some reason we wanted to save this preset into a different block, hit the save button once. And if we turn the select knob, we can see that our bank and preset slot are changing. So we can save it to a different spot. If you hit the select button once, it's gonna then allow us to change the name of the preset. Basically, by using knobs 1 through 5, we can then change the characters. Hit select again, and we can continue with more characters. Once you name it how you want it, then hit save again, and then that preset will be saved. Okay guys, that's what I have for you today. I know when you get started with the multi-effect pedal, it can be pretty overwhelming. You know, maybe you don't want to like touch anything because you don't want to mess anything up, but I'm hoping that this video kind of was useful to you. Hopefully you'll feel more comfortable diving in to your GE300. If so, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, see you later. Boom, 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 boom! Pew!